The whole civilized world is in danger right now of extremism. It's been a surreal day. Very, very late last night into the early hours of the morning, received the report of the brutal murder of two precious, beautiful young people. When you read their bios and their social media posts on LinkedIn and other places, they were talking about peace. They were talking about coexistence. They were talking about how do we find justice for everyone in the Middle East? How do we envision a new Middle East? And to see them gunned down in cold blood as this murderer screamed out, free Palestine. And knowing that we were just in Washington last week with all of these hundreds of pastors and rabbis just blocks from where this took place. So last night, it was just, horrible and horrifying. But then this morning, I woke up early this morning to check on everything and was utterly devastated to find out that Yaron, who was killed, is the son of our friend, Daniel, who just was our tour guide for our Pastors in Solidarity trip that Pastor Samuel Rodriguez and I led in February, Eagles Wings and NHCLC. Daniel is a precious man, a brilliant guide, caring, kind, wise, and he was so proud of his son Yaron. And throughout the trip, he talked to us about how proud he was of Yaron and the work that Yaron was doing in Washington. My mind is overwhelmed because I don't understand what it's going to take for the West to wake up to the very horrible but true reality that there is an evil in the world today called radicalized Islam. And the focal point of the hatred of radical Islam is the state of Israel and the Jewish people. But the secondary hate of radicalized Islam is the Christian church. And the tertiary, the third place of hate of radical Islam is moderate, modern Muslims. The whole civilized world is in danger right now of extremism. And can I tell you, there is extremism rising up right now on the Christian right. And I'm going to call it out right now. It's rising up. We see horrific extremism on the woke left, which I don't have all of the details, but allegedly the alleged perpetrator, who I think confessed, so I think you still have to legally say alleged, but the alleged perpetrator, at first glance seems like an educated individual who was just funneled in to this warped way of thinking that becomes mob speech. Free Palestine. Okay, free Palestine from what and from who? Israel has not been in Gaza since 2005. The self-determination of the Palestinian people was tested twice, when twice they voted in Hamas. You have to become educated on the reality on the ground. Yes, but look at the bombing that Israel's doing. Look at the deaths. It's horrible. Do you think Israel likes to be doing this bombing? I was on the phone yesterday with a dear friend of mine in Israel who was sitting there with his 19-year-old son and said, yeah, my son tomorrow has to return to Gaza. Kind, good, loving people who want nothing but peace. And that father looked at me on this FaceTime call, his 19-year-old son walking in the background of the kitchen, and said, yeah, tomorrow we have to send him back to Gaza. And the world has twisted this situation and painted the Israelis as monsters, painted them as genocidal maniacs. All they want is peace. And yet daily, the rockets continue to come from the Houthis and from Hamas. Daily, 54 hostages, 29 of them still potentially alive, are being held in tunnels. Daily, Iran breathes down threats of destruction. What do you expect this country to do? They know that the world will not defend them because the world didn't give a damn in World War II. They know the world's not going to come to their aid. And so they stand their corner, they fight their corner, and they protect themselves. They are not expansionist. They have no desire, as demonstrated by the Abraham Accords, other than peace with their neighbors. And a virus, an evil virus called anti-Semitism, has permeated theology, denominations. It has caused denominations to be silent. Where are you, denominational leaders? You know who you are. And pretty soon I'm going to call you out by name. Where are you? My friends, the time is long past gone for you to stay silent, uninvolved, uncommitted, uneducated, unactive. 18 years ago, I released a teaching. They'll find the exact date and they'll put it up on the screen, and they'll put the teaching that was released years ago. It might have been less or more, but it was many years ago. And the teaching I released was called Israel, a Dividing Line. And I saw that there was coming a moment that the question of Israel and the Jewish people in the land was literally going to rip families apart, rip churches apart, rip denominations apart, rip communities apart. I was abundantly clear many, many years ago that this was going to become an issue that would literally bring separation. And that time is now. I can't tell you the number of families. Some of them are watching right now. Children against parents, spouse against spouse. Horrific. Why? Because people refuse to do the deep work of not looking at this through a lens of emotion, but through a lens of truth. Emotionally, I am devastated for what is happening in Gaza. This is heart-wrenching. It is horrible. So why did Hamas start a war? Why are the Palestinian people? I saw yesterday one of the Hamas leaders praising the martyrs and praising Palestinian Muslim mothers, saying they will continue to birth babies and we will have more and more martyrs at our disposal, inshallah. We're dealing with a virus, a sickness that has passed the place of cure into the place that, like cancer, it is metastasized and it must be excised. Radical Islam has two answers. Turn away from the path of destruction and embrace the path of peace and common humanity, common decency, or the civilized world will dispatch you to meet Allah. We will no longer live under the shadow of terror from radical Islam, aided and abetted by liberal woke idiots and increasingly far-right idiots. Our heart and our prayers are with the families of these two young people who've been murdered in cold blood. simply because they were Jews.